Let me talk about how to unlock your full potential. And that potential is the secret to unstoppable success. There's a silent battle happening inside you right now. You feel it. You've felt it for months, maybe years. It's that frustrating gap between where you are and where you should be by now. You wake up with ambition. You have dreams, desires, and goals that matter. But something invisible keeps pulling you back. Not because you lack intelligence. Not because you lack passion. Not because you lack potential. You have the potential. You've always had it. But potential means nothing if it stays locked inside you. And let's be honest, you're tired of feeling stuck. You're tired of feeling like you're almost there, but not quite. You're tired of starting and stopping. Tired of promising yourself change only to wake up to the same patterns. You're tired of watching other people rise. People with less talent, less drive, less passion, while you stay trapped in the same cycle of almost someday and maybe later. Deep down, you know you are meant for more. And the pain of that unrealized possibility is exhausting. It frustrates you. It eats at you. Because nothing hurts more than knowing you're capable of greatness and still playing small. But what if the reason you haven't broken through yet has nothing to do with motivation, discipline, luck, or timing? What if you've been trying to create a breakthrough with the wrong tools? What if one shift, one mental rewire, one identity upgrade, one awakening could break the invisible barrier that has held you back for years? What if the power you're searching for isn't out there, but already inside you, waiting to be activated? And what if today, right now, is the moment everything changes? Because right now, at this moment, we are not waiting for motivation. We are not waiting for permission. We are unlocking your full potential now. Not later, not someday, now. This is the moment where the old version of you ends and the new version of you begins. This is the moment where hesitation dies and power is born. This is the moment you step into the identity of someone who does, someone who moves, someone who rises, someone who becomes unstoppable. Unlock your full potential now, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday when you finally feel ready, but now. Because readiness is a lie the mind uses to delay destiny. As you hear my voice, I want you to feel a shift begin inside you. A realization that the life you've been living and the life you're capable of living are not even close to the same thing. Most people sleepwalk through their existence, living according to old stories, old identities, old beliefs they never chose. They wait for the right moment, the right motivation, the right opportunity, and because of that, years slip by, silently, quietly, without resistance. But you are not most people. You are here because something inside you knows you're meant for more. You're here because your potential has been whispering to you, sometimes gently, sometimes urgently, telling you it's time to rise. And today, we silence the doubts, we silence the fear, and we unleash the version of you that has been waiting to break free. Today, you unlock your full potential now. Let's start by acknowledging the truth. You felt stuck before. You felt like you were spinning, doing so much yet moving so little. You've had dreams you were excited about, goals that lit you up, but somehow life got in the way. Distractions, responsibilities, fear, uncertainty. They showed up and convinced you that later was a better plan than now. And over time, those laters became years. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're incapable. It's because you were operating without access to your actual power. See, every one of us has two lives. The one we live and the one we're capable of living. And the distance between those two lives is controlled by just three forces. Your state, your story, and your strategy. When you change your state, you change your story. When you change your story, you find the right strategy. And when those three forces align, the momentum you create is unstoppable. So before we dive deep into your identity, your beliefs, your standards, and the massive action you're going to take, we start with the foundation, your state. Because you cannot unlock your full potential now while living in the emotional state of a past version of yourself. Right here, right now, I want you to shift your body. If you can, stand up. If you can't, then sit tall like you're ready to conquer something big. Roll your shoulders back, take a powerful breath, and exhale with intention. Move your body with energy. Shake out your hands. Change your breathing. Change the tension in your muscles. This may feel simple, but this is the gateway to transformation. Most people try to change their lives while staying in a state of stress, doubt, fear, or frustration. They try to solve problems in the same emotional state that created those problems. And that's like trying to run a marathon while dragging a 50-pound weight behind you. When you shift your physiology, you interrupt old patterns, and you open the door to new possibilities. Energy is the driver of action, and action is the driver of destiny. So elevate your energy, sharpen your focus. Your potential doesn't wait for hesitation. This is your activation moment. This is how you unlock your full potential now. Now let's talk about identity. Your identity is the invisible script that has controlled your decisions, your habits, your expectations, and your results. You will never outperform the identity you hold about yourself. If deep down you believe you're someone who always struggles, you will sabotage your success to stay consistent with that identity. If you believe you're someone who never finishes what you start, you'll unconsciously find reasons to quit. But when you shift your identity, everything else shifts with it. Think about this. Identity is the strongest force in the human personality because we will always act in alignment with who we believe we are. If you see yourself as powerful, disciplined, creative, and unstoppable, you will begin making decisions that align with that identity. But if you see yourself as the underdog, the struggler, the unlucky one, the one who always messes up, you will live down to that script until the day you decide to rewrite it. And today is that day. So ask yourself, who have you been believing you are? Not the identity you pretend to have on your best days, your real identity, the one that drives your daily decisions. And now ask, does that identity deserve to define your future? If not, then allow it to die here. Because the identity you choose today will determine the life you live tomorrow. Choose to be the person who rises. Choose to be the person who creates. Choose to be the person who executes. Choose to be the person who says, I unlock my full potential now. As we move deeper, we must confront the beliefs that built your old identity. Your beliefs are the filters through which you interpret your reality. And those filters can either empower you or imprison you. Every breakthrough in your life happened because you replaced an old belief with a new one. And every time you felt stuck, it was because a belief was holding you captive. Beliefs like, I'm not ready, I don't know enough, I don't have what it takes, I'm too late, I always fail, it's too hard, I can't change. These are not truths. They are patterns. Patterns you absorb from past experiences, from other people's doubts, from failures that hurt you, from moments when you were trying your best and still felt like it wasn't enough. But you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the meaning you choose to attach to those moments. And starting now, you choose beliefs that move you forward. You choose beliefs that empower you. You choose beliefs that align with the future you want to build. So ask yourself the 3 transformational questions. What belief must I adopt to reach my next level? What belief has been silently sabotaging me? And what new belief will I install today? When you consciously choose your beliefs, you consciously choose your destiny. This is how you unlock your full potential now. But beliefs alone are not enough. Identity alone is not enough. You and I both know people who believe in themselves but never do anything. You've met people who read every book, watch every motivational video, talk about their dreams, but never take real action. Why? Because they lack strategy. And even more important, they lack purposeful action driven by emotion, massive action fueled by a reason so strong it pulls them forward, not pushes them. The world does not reward intention, it rewards execution. So let's talk strategy. The RPM system, results, purpose, massive action. Most people fail because they never define the real result they want. They talk about goals, but rarely about outcomes. A goal is, I want to get in shape. A result is, I want to lose 20 pounds and feel strong every day. A goal is, I want more money. A result is, I want to create a $10,000 a month income stream that gives me freedom. The clearer the result, the clearer the path. Then comes purpose. Purpose is your emotional fuel. It's the reason you refuse to quit. Without purpose, discipline is a chore. With purpose, discipline becomes a natural extension of your vision. And finally, massive action. 3 steps you can execute immediately, not next month, not when you feel inspired again. Now, because action is the bridge between dreaming and living. Action is the tool that makes belief real. Action is the proof of identity. If you want momentum, you must move. If you want breakthroughs, you must move. If you want to unlock your full potential now, you must move. Standards are the next cornerstone. Your life is a reflection of what you tolerate. Every result you have, good or bad, comes from the standards you've set for yourself. Not the standards you talk about, but the standards you live. If you accept low energy, you will live with low energy. If you accept procrastination, you will live with procrastination. If you accept fear as your decision maker, you will live a life ruled by fear. But when you decide that certain behaviors are no longer acceptable, your entire world shifts. High standards create high results. Low standards create low results. You don't get your goals, you get your standards. So look at your life honestly. What standards have been too low? What have you been tolerating that's been draining your confidence, your time, your happiness, your potential? Today is your line in the sand. Today is the moment you raise your standards and say, I refuse to live below my potential. This is how you unlock your full potential now. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in your life. And if you don't learn to master it, it will quietly shape every decision you make. Fear is sneaky. It doesn't always look like fear. Sometimes it disguises itself as procrastination. Sometimes it shows up as perfectionism, convincing you that you're not ready yet, that you just need a little more time. Sometimes it appears as overwhelm, making everything seem too big, too complicated, too risky. And sometimes it arrives as doubt, whispering, who do you think you are to want more? But fear is nothing more than the anticipation of pain. It's a prediction, not a reality. It's your mind trying to protect you from discomfort. But the greatest pain in life is not the pain of taking action. It's the pain of regret. It's looking back and realizing you had so much more potential, and you never gave yourself a chance to live it. Today, you stop negotiating with fear. Today, you stop letting fear control the direction of your life. When fear shows up, you use it as a signal. Not a stop sign, but a call to expand, a call to rise, a call to claim the growth waiting on the other side. Every time you act despite fear, you shrink the power it has over you. Every time you wait, you strengthen it. You unlock your full potential now when you choose courage over comfort. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's acting while fear is present. When you look back at the moments in life you're most proud of, the moments that shaped you, the moments that defined you, they were not moments where everything felt easy. There were moments where you were scared but took action anyway. That's the version of you we're unleashing today. The version that doesn't wait for fear to disappear but moves through it. Fear is a compass. It often points toward the very thing that will transform your life. If something scares you, it's probably because it matters. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't feel anything. So instead of running from fear, start asking, what is this fear trying to reveal about what I desire? What is it trying to guide me toward? When you change your relationship with fear, you change your relationship with growth. And when you change your relationship with growth, you unlock your full potential, NOW. Momentum is one of the most overlooked forces of human achievement. Momentum is what makes change feel effortless once you get going. Momentum is what turns discipline into habit, and habit into identity. Most people never experience real momentum because they only act when they feel motivated. But motivation is a spark. If you rely on motivation, you'll move inconsistently, and inconsistency kills momentum. Momentum comes from repetition. Momentum comes from starting even when you don't feel like it. Momentum comes from doing 2 minutes of action on the days you want to do nothing. It comes from taking small steps with intensity and consistency. Once the wheel starts turning, it becomes easier and easier to stay in motion. But that first push, that's where breakthroughs are born. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment, this is it. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. The only difference between people who dream and people who achieve is that achievers start before they feel ready. Start before you feel confident. Start before you know the whole plan. Start before the fear goes away. Start now. You unlock your full potential by becoming the kind of person who starts. But starting is only half the equation. The other half is staying consistent. And the secret to consistency is building rituals that reinforce who you want to become. Think about the way you start your day. Think about your emotional state when you wake up. Most people roll out of bed, check their phone, and immediately enter a reactive state. They read messages, notifications, news, and the problems of the world before they even take their first breath of intention. They begin the day feeling behind. You cannot create a powerful life while living in a reactive pattern. You must design your mornings with purpose. You must claim your emotional state before the world claims it for you. A simple daily ritual. 6 minutes is enough to shift your entire trajectory. 2 minutes of gratitude, focusing on what's already good in your life. 2 minutes of visualization, seeing the future you want to create as if it's happening now. 2 minutes of movement, waking up your physiology, raising your energy, igniting your power. 6 minutes. That's it. And yet this tiny ritual done daily compounds into a massive transformation, because the person who practices gratitude daily becomes more resourceful. The person who visualizes daily becomes more intentional. The person who moves daily becomes more energized. These micro actions reshape your identity. They reinforce the belief that you are someone who prioritizes growth, someone who takes control of your life, someone who refuses to settle. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence builds courage. Courage builds character. This is how you unlock your full potential now. Now let's talk about something most people avoid: standards. Your standards determine your results. Not your goals, your standards. You can want something with all your heart, but if your standards don't match that desire, you will never achieve it. A person can say, I want to be healthy, but if their standard is eating whatever is convenient, they will live out that standard. A person can say, I want financial freedom, but if their standard is spending impulsively, they will live out that standard. A person can say, I want an extraordinary relationship, but if their standard is tolerating poor communication or disrespect, they will live out that standard. We don't get what we want, we get what we tolerate. And everything you tolerate becomes the limit of your life. If you tolerate low energy, you will stay tired. If you tolerate excuses, you will stay stagnant. If you tolerate fear-driven decisions, you will live a life of hesitation. You don't raise your life by raising your goals. You raise your life by raising your standards. Standards are the boundaries you set for yourself. They are the lines you refuse to cross. They are the behaviors you no longer accept. And when you raise your standards, your identity rises with them. When you raise your standards, your actions elevate automatically. When you raise your standards, everything around you recalibrates to match them. Today, right now, decide, what will you no longer tolerate? What will you no longer accept? Which version of yourself do you refuse to return to? Raise your standards, and you raise your life. This is how you unlock your full potential now. Now let's confront the truth that most people avoid. You are not lacking potential. You are lacking alignment. You are not lacking desire. You are lacking clarity. You are not lacking talent. You are lacking direction. When your state, your story, and your strategy are aligned, results flow. When they're misaligned, everything becomes a struggle. If your state is low energy, your story will turn negative, and your strategy will collapse. If your state is high energy, your story becomes empowering, and your strategy becomes effective. So let's create alignment right now. Start with your state, breathe with power, move with purpose, stand with strength. Then rewrite your story. The story that says you're not enough, you're behind, you're too late is a lie. Replace it with the truth: you are capable, you are ready, and you are no longer willing to settle. Then define your strategy. What is the next step? Not the next 100 steps, just the next one. Action creates clarity, and clarity reinforces identity. When you align these three forces, you create momentum that becomes unstoppable. And this momentum is the engine that drives your potential. This is how you unlock your full potential, NOW. You must also become the guardian of your environment. Your environment shapes you, often more than your intentions do. Who you surround yourself with matters. What you consume matters. The information you allow into your mind matters. Are you surrounded by people who drain you or people who challenge you to rise? Are you consuming content that expands your mind or content that distracts and numbs you? Are you spending your time around people who elevate your standards or people who lower them? Your environment is either feeding your potential or starving it. If you want to change your life, change the sources of your influence. Spend time with people who inspire you, who encourage your growth, who remind you of who you want to become. Fill your mind with knowledge, stories, strategies, and perspectives that elevate your thinking. Your environment should be a reflection of your future, not your past. Align your environment with your vision. Protect your energy. Protect your focus. This is how you unlock your full potential now. Another critical element of unlocking your full potential now is understanding the power of decisions. Life changes in an instant. The instant you make a real decision. Not a preference, not a wish, not a maybe one day. A decision is a moment where you commit to a new standard, cut off the possibility of going backward, and step into a higher version of yourself. Most people never make true decisions. They make soft choices. They say, I'll try, which already contains failure. They say, I'll do it when things calm down, which is another form of procrastination. They say, I hope this works, which reveals they're not committed. They're hoping life does the heavy lifting for them. But when you make a decision backed by certainty, your identity shifts instantly. You reorder your priorities. You reorganize your life. You redirect your energy. The moment you decide that you will no longer accept a life below your potential, everything changes. Decision is the doorway to destiny, but you must walk through it. No one can walk through it for you. You decide your standards, you decide your beliefs, you decide your habits, you decide your direction. And the beautiful truth is this, at any moment you can decide to become someone new. You can decide to think differently, to act differently, to expect more from yourself, to raise your life to a new level. So decide now, who are you going to be from this moment forward? A person ruled by fear, or a person led by purpose? A person trapped by their past, or a person who shapes their future? A person who waits, or a person who rises? Decide, and in that decision, unlock your full potential now. Another force that determines the quality of your life is meaning. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning you give it, and the meaning you choose determines how you feel, how you act, and what you create. Two people can experience the same event, and one will see opportunity while the other sees disaster. One will use it to grow, while the other uses it as an excuse to shrink. Your suffering in life never comes from the event. It comes from the meaning. And when you choose an empowering meaning, you choose an empowering life. If something painful happened in your past, you can choose to see it as trauma that defines you or a lesson that strengthened you. If someone doubted you, you can choose to see it as proof you're not enough for fuel to rise and prove yourself to yourself. If you failed at something, you can choose to see it as the end or the beginning of a new level of insight, resilience, and strategy. The question is, are you choosing meanings that keep you small or meanings that unleash your greatness? Start choosing meanings that expand your identity, strengthen your belief, and ignite your action. When you master meaning, you master emotion. When you master emotion, you master life. And when you master life, you unlock your full potential, now N-O-W. Next, we must talk about the force that makes potential real commitment. Commitment doesn't mean trying. Commitment means doing whatever it takes. Trying is a weak word. It gives your mind an escape route. It signals doubt. It signals hesitation. Commitment has no exit door. Commitment is a promise you make to your future and refuse to break. Most people stay stuck not because they lack ability, but because they're half committed. They show up when it's easy, when it's fresh, when it's exciting. But champions show up when it's hard, when they don't feel like it, when progress is slow. Commitment is forged in discomfort. Growth is forged in friction. Character is forged in resistance. So you must commit at a level you have never before. Commit to your identity. Commit to your standards. Commit to your vision. Commit to the next step, even if the next step feels small. Commitment is not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's about aligning your actions with your future identity every single day, even if those actions are tiny. Tiny steps compound. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum builds transformation. And transformation unlocks your full potential, N-O-W. Another pillar of potential is clarity. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. You cannot reach a destination you have not defined. Vagueness kills dreams. Clarity creates power. The clearer your vision, the more magnetic it becomes. The more specific your goals, the more achievable they become. The more detailed your plan, the more confident you feel. So get clear, what do you really want? Not what you think you should want. Not what other people expect you to want. What do you want? What kind of life do you want to build? What kind of person do you want to become? What kind of emotional state do you want to live in daily? What kind of contributions do you want to make? What kind of impact do you want to have? Clarity transforms goals into commitments. Commitments transform behavior into habits. Habits transform potential into reality. And reality becomes the life you live every day. Get clear, because clarity is the gateway to unlocking your full potential now. Let's talk about emotional mastery. People buy based on emotion. They quit based on emotion. They fall in love based on emotion. They give up based on emotion. They change based on emotion. If you don't learn to master your emotions will master you. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you never feel fear or doubt or stress. It means you don't let those emotions dictate your behavior. It means you learn to observe your emotions instead of being controlled by them. It means you learn to shift your state in seconds. And the fastest way to shift your emotional state is through your physiology, your breath, your movement, your posture, your focus. When you feel stuck, move your body. When you feel overwhelmed, change your breathing. When you feel doubtful, shift your focus. When you feel powerless, recall a moment where you overcame something difficult and feel that strength again. Emotional mastery is a skill, and once you develop that skill, you gain control of your life. When you master emotion, you master action. And when you master action, you unlock your full potential now. Now let's confront one of the biggest lies people believe. I'm waiting for motivation. Motivation is a myth. It's fleeting. It's unstable. It's unreliable. Motivation doesn't show up consistently, but discipline does. Purpose does. Identity does. Strategy does. If you rely on motivation, you'll take action only on your best days. But your life is built on the actions you take on your worst days. Your future is shaped by how you show up when you feel tired, uninspired, or overwhelmed. Motivation may get you started, but it's discipline that carries you through. Discipline is simply the commitment to act in alignment with your vision, regardless of how you feel. It's doing the uncomfortable things that move you forward instead of the easy things that keep you stuck. Discipline creates habits. Habits create identity, and identity creates destiny. You don't unlock your full potential when you feel motivated. You unlock it when you act despite not feeling motivated. That is where breakthroughs happen. That is where growth happens. That is where transformation begins. Your potential also depends on something greater, contribution. Human beings are not fulfilled by success alone. Fulfillment comes from meaning. Meaning comes from growth. And growth becomes extraordinary when you contribute beyond yourself. The moment you shift from what can life give me to what can I give life, a new level of power is unleashed within you. Contribution gives purpose to your strength. It gives direction to your potential. It gives intention to your actions. When you live only for yourself, your world is small. When you live to serve, to help, to uplift, to inspire, your world expands. Contribution doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as encouraging someone, supporting someone, sharing love, sharing knowledge, sharing kindness. When you contribute, you step into the highest version of yourself. You connect with something bigger than fear, bigger than doubt, bigger than limitation. Contribution turns potential into legacy. And legacy unlocks your full potential now. Now bring everything together. You have the power to elevate your state. You have the power to rewrite your identity. You have the power to choose new beliefs. You have the power to raise your standards. You have the power to take massive action. You have the power to confront fear. You have the power to build momentum. You have the power to design your rituals. You have the power to shape your environment. You have the power to assign empowering meaning. You have the power to make real decisions. You have the power to create clarity. You have the power to master your emotions. You have the power to choose discipline over motivation. You have the power to contribute to something larger than yourself. Everything you need is already inside you. Your potential is not something you earn. It's something you release. And the moment you release it, your life will never be the same. So now, take a breath. Feel your power rising. Feel your identity expanding. Feel your belief strengthening. Feel your vision sharpening. Feel your courage building. Feel your momentum beginning. This is not just another video. This is not just another message. This is your awakening. This is the moment you refuse to settle. This is the moment you stop living at half your capacity. This is the moment you step into the fullness of who you were meant to be. You are powerful. You are capable. You are ready. The world needs the version of you that refuses to play small. The world needs the version of you that chooses courage. The world needs the version of you that leads. The world needs the version of you that rises. Declare it, own it, live it. I unlock my full potential now. Say it again with certainty. I unlock my full potential now. One more time, with power. I unlock my full potential, N-O-W. Your new life begins the moment you decide to live it. This is your moment. Step into it fully. Rise. And never look back.